Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election held in Nigeria on February 25, 2023, and the result controversially announced on March 1st, 2023. And that controversial result produced asserted Bola Tinubu as the president of the country, and the petitioners and the major contestants in the race, not satisfied, headed to the Election Petition Tribunal, which delivered its judgment on September 6, 2023. And the result that was delivered, or the verdict that was delivered by the tribunal, not satisfactory to the major contenders. They are now at the Supreme Court that will finally determine or put to rest the issue of 2023 presidential election. Who won? Who was the real winner? Who did Nigerians vote for? It will be put to rest by the Supreme Court. However, while we are on it, the former secretary to the federal government, Babachir Lawal, came out with a bombshell, which, in my own estimation, he was right, when he said that the candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, won the February 25 presidential election, and that it was not Bola Tinubu, that INEC declared the winner of that election that actually won. He believed that it was Peter Obi that won. This is despite the fact that INEC, as I told you, in a controversial circumstance, declared Tinubu the winner of the election, and the tribunal has also affirmed his election. Babachir Lawal, however, cannot stand any of these positions by INEC and the tribunal. He believes strongly that Peter Obi won the election. And Babachir Lawal, in a statement on Tuesday, claimed that the data from independent sources indicated that Obi had majority votes, while Atiku came second in the election. And asserted Bola Tinubu, indeed, in his own estimation, and which I will also prove in this video, came a distant third. The statement partly reads, "I have resisted the temptation to engage in the contemporary political discourse since the May 2023 election fox pass. I did this for two reasons. The first being that as an active player in the drama, I needed time to analyze and digest the data that led to the outcomes, so I could arrive at an informed decision. The second being that the rainy season had just set in, and I needed to focus my attention on my farms, which are the mainstay of livelihood. The current topical issue for political discourse and inquiry are whether or not Bola Tinubu won the presidential election, and or that he was a priori qualified to participate in the election, given his murky biodata as is now being publicly unveiled daily in avalanche. My answer to the first inquiry is that regardless of whatever INEC or appeal court said or did, Bola did not win the election. Right from the start of the campaign, Bola knew he was not going to win the election in a free and fair contest, so he decided to go by all means. Available factual data, as aggregated from several independent sources, indicates that Obi won the majority votes, while Atiku came second. Bola came a distant third in the number of votes scored. Babachir Lawal therefore urged the president to resign to prevent public humiliation and embarrassment. Continuing, Babachir Lawal in the statement said, "My answer to the second inquiry is that given the now unfolding deluge of uncomplimentary information about who or what he is, ordinarily sound ethics and morality should have convinced him to voluntarily excuse himself from participation in the election. But this notwithstanding, I believe he still has time and opportunity to save himself this public humiliation and embarrassment to his person, both locally and internationally, by resigning so that he can give more attention to his health. After all, no one knows about the truism of this severely embarrassing and humiliating exposure about his person than the man himself. Leadership is all about integrity, sound pedigree, trustworthiness, and the ability to unite and instill hope and confidence in the people one seeks to lead. In these qualities, most Nigerians are in total agreement that Bola has them in very, very short supply indeed, the statement added. Lawal said Tinubu had yet to appoint any competent person into office. He said Bola, the president, and his group are now in government and are in full control of Nigeria's vast resources and opportunities. They are enjoying their offices while Nigerians languish in insecurity, poverty, and hopelessness. During the campaigns, Bola mouthed some platitudes about competence, but we are so far yet to see it reflected in his political appointments. It seems more like he is rewarding people who supported him to get the presidency at all costs. This band of appointees that Bola is assembling into his government don't care about Nigeria at all. Fuel prices will continue to gallop upwards until only they can afford it. The Naira will continue to race downhill in a free fall until only they can afford anything in the market. Insecurity will continue its escalation until every community in the nation is consumed by it, says Babachir Lawal, former secretary to the government of the Federation. Now, in this video, I want to back Babachir Lawal in his claim that Peter Obi won and that Tinubu could not have won the election and that Tinubu came a distant third. I have done several videos to show that that was exactly what happened in my own estimation and in my own understanding of what played out. Now, let me also tell you one reason why Nigerians could not have voted for Bola Tinubu or the All Progressive Congress, so that you'll be able to put your mind at rest, because Nigerian people are reasonable people. Like Obasanjo will say, Nigerians will never reinforce failures. APC was a total failure between 2015 and 2023. So Nigerians could not have rewarded failure by voting for Bola Tinubu and the APC in the presidency. Nigerians rejected them. Even when you look at the spread of the result announced by INEC, you will discover that Nigerians voted against Bola Tinubu and the APC. Let us assume, without considering that the data that was supplied by INEC as the figure of the election was true, that Tinubu got 8.7 million votes, with which they declared him the winner of the election. Atiku Abubakar got 6.9 million votes. Peter Obi got 6.1 million votes. Rabiu Kwankwaso got 1.2 million votes. Now, if you add together the votes by Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and Rabiu Kwankwaso, it means that Nigerians rejected Bola Tinubu on that alone. But that is not even where we are going to, because if you go to that particular direction, you now give credence to those who claim that it is because Peter Obi, Kwankwaso, and Atiku Abubakar did not combine together. That was why Tinubu won, which is a fallacy, which I have debunked in some videos that I had made previously. Now, let me tell you why Nigerians rejected Bola Tinubu and the APC in the election, based on the fact that Nigerians are reasonable people. Nigerians could not have voted for APC in a free and fair election. Now, inflation rate, when APC came to power, inflation rate in 2015 was 9% in Nigeria. When the APC came to power, it was 9%. That's how PDP left it, 9%. By 2023, as Nigerians were heading to the election, inflation rate in Nigeria was 25.8%. Everything has more than quadrupled. And there is no way with the suffering that Nigerians were going through that they will vote for APC. Already Nigeria was the poverty capital of the world. And Nigerians were just praying to kick APC out of power. So there is no way Nigerians voted for Tinubu under this condition. Another thing to note is that by the time APC came to power in 2015, the naira to the dollar was 170 naira to the dollar. By the time Nigerians were going for the election by February, already the naira to the dollar was getting almost to 900 naira to the dollar in the black market. Everything else, and you know that Nigeria is an import-dependent country, so everything was on the high side, just as what is happening right now that Tinubu is running the country. It was the same thing under Buhari. In terms of killing, you know, the APC came to power because they said Jonathan and the PDP could not manage insecurity in the country. But insecurity exacerbated under them. When they came to power in 2015, insecurity was basically Northeast problem. But by the time they finished in 8 years, insecurity was nationwide. No part of the country was spared. And in terms of killing, in the 8 years of Muhammad Buhari and the APC, over 63,000 Nigerians were killed. 27,311 people were killed under Buhari's first term. In his second term, 35,800 people were killed between 2019 and 2023. Not even the states of Muhammad Buhari could be spared. Over 12 local governments was under the lockdown of bandits. There is no way under this kind of situation people will vote for such a party who failed woefully in protecting the lives and properties of Nigerians. IDPs that were an issue that was restricted in the Northeast became nationwide. You now have IDPs in Benue State, in Nasarawa State, North Central, Northeast, Southwest, everywhere. So Nigerians rejected them because of their incompetence. So there's no way Nigerians could have voted for them. Now, this insecurity, this figure I gave you, I didn't make them up. This is from the Nigeria Security Tracker, NST, a project of the Council on Foreign Relations, Africa's program of the United States government. And according to their report, the deaths arose from terrorism, banditry, haters from mass clashes, communal clashes, court clashes, and extrajudicial killings. Now, add this to the mix, the fuel scarcity that accompanied that election, and the redesign of the Naira, which brought a lot of hardships. Nigerians were ready to send APC out of government, and they could not have voted for asserted Bola Tinubu and the APC. That's a fact. Then another thing that you also have to take note of this is this. To lay credence to what Babachir Lawal is saying, is that independent investigations by researchers, in fact, I will put a link to a former video I did on this. Independent researchers, PhD students, they did a research and it was discovered that Peter Obi won 90% of the vote cast in all the military installations in Nigeria, from Kano to Lagos, Lagos to Bauchi, Bauchi to Cross River, Cross River to Ondo, everywhere. Peter Obi won hands down in all the military barracks and installations in Nigeria. And in their analysis, and the data they used in coming to this conclusion was downloaded from INEC IRIF to show that Peter Obi won in all the military installations in Nigeria. 90% of the vote casted there, all over the country, from north to south, which was an indication that the Nigerian military had confidence in Peter Obi being commander-in-chief. Because And that research showed that wherever the rigging was impossible, like military barracks, Peter Obi won hands down. But in the surrounding areas, in those military installations, there are some of them that Peter Obi didn't do well. And why was it so? Because outside the military installations, military barracks, military schools, and all that, there was a free reign of rigging of the election. So that is one thing you have to note. That gives a clue to what happened. If Peter Obi could win 90% of the vote cast in all the military installations nationwide, it means that he had a pan-Nigerian mandate in terms of support. And why is it that Tinubu could not win in all these military installations and all these places? Why is it that he couldn't win there? Because in all those places, rigging was virtually impossible. Now, in fact, there is also the allegation that the reason why INEC had so-called glitches in the election was because Peter Obi was going to have a runaway victory. And the only way it was alleged was to stop the result from being known real time. INEC had promised that the result of the 2023 presidential election will be known real time. It means that Nigerians could be anywhere in the world, and as the votes are dropping, Nigerians will see it in real time. That's what they promised. But you remember in the election, presidential election was not transmitted in real time. They claimed there was glitches, but they were able to transmit senatorial and House of Reps election that took place the same day. All these are indications that is believed strongly that it was because of Peter Obi's runaway victory that is likely to have that INEC allegedly sabotaged the system and claimed there were glitches. And Peter Obi has, at the presidential election petition tribunal, brought a witness, an ICT expert from Amazon Web Services, who was able to convince every doubting Thomas that indeed there were no glitches. It was a man-made glitch. No glitches. Because if there were glitches, why didn't INEC complain to the Amazon Web Services that provide security for it? Because there was no need to do that, because there were no glitches. Okay? Now, that's another clear indication that Peter Obi was having a runaway victory. Free and fair election, Peter Obi is winning, according to what I have seen. And as from what Babachir Lawal is also saying, I'm just giving credence to his assertion that indeed Peter Obi won the election. Now, there are another reason to also show you that Tinubu could not have won the election. Despite this, what I'm telling you now, that given the reality on the ground, there's no way Nigerians voted for APC. No way. Now, INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, declared Tinubu winner of the election with 8.7 million votes. Atiku Abubakar, 6.9 million votes. Peter Obi, 6.1 million votes. Now, in the 8.7 million votes they used in declaring Tinubu the winner of the election, out of that, 2.5 million of the votes in this 8.7 million votes were extracted from 18,088 blood resource sheets that had nothing written on them. Nobody can read what is inside, but out of it, they generated 2.5 million votes. Peter Obi had called that these 2.5 million votes should not be given to Tinubu, that it should be extracted from his vote. Ordinarily, you would have expected that Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, because Peter Obi presented these blood results before the tribunal. None of the justices could read what was written inside, but out of it, it was 2.5 million votes were generated for Bola Tinubu. Now, if you extract these 2.5 million votes, remove it from 8.7 million votes of Bola Tinubu, his vote will come down to 6.2 million votes. he will no longer have majority of the vote cast in the election. And that is it. Now, Peter Obi brought a professor of mathematics who was able to extract this information from INEC archive. So if you do this, you will now begin to understand why Babachir Lawal was right in saying that Bola Tinubu came a distance third. Because by the time he subtract 2.5 million votes from his 8.7 million votes, his number will drop. Now, while his number is dropping, Peter Obi's number will be going up because Peter Obi had a lot of his numbers cut down, allegedly. And Peter Obi, in his presentation at the Presidential Election Petition Court, showed that his numbers were added to Tinubu's numbers in many states. And you know that Peter Obi was challenging results in 21 states. And he was assertive that he won Benue and Rivers State, which was given to Tinubu. Now, independent calculation, verification by the BBC have shown that Peter Obi won Rivers State. Independent verification and tabulation by the Premium Times show that Peter Obi won Rivers State. But you can see what the appeal court did. They dismissed the witnesses and still allowed Tinubu to return Rivers State. Peter Obi had brought evidence before the court to show that he won Benue State. Now, if the Supreme Court tomorrow do the needful and really look into the tabulation of these results and remove Rivers and Benue from Tinubu's victorious state, you will now see that there is no way he could have won the election. He would still come a distance third. So that is the way it is. So now, going further, sorry about that. Now, going further about this, you discover that Babachir Lawal was right. If you look at the number of states won by the three major candidates, Peter Obi won, Atiku Abubakar won 12 states, okay? Tinubu won 12 states. Peter Obi won 11 states and the FCT. Since FCT is not a state, if FCT was a state, we would have said that Peter Obi also won 12 states. But Peter Obi won 11 states from plus FCT. Now, by the time you take away Benue and Rivers State, which Peter Obi was able to prove that he won them, and you add it to Peter Obi will have more votes than Bola Tinubu, and Bola Tinubu's number will go down. The number of states that Tinubu won will now be 10 states. Atiku Abubakar will be 12 states. Peter Obi will be 14 states, including the FCT. And you will also see that Peter Obi had won more states than any of his contemporaries in the race. So when Babachir Lawal is saying that Peter Obi won majority of the vote cast in this election, and that he won the election, and he ought to have been declared the winner of the election. And that was why he was saying that it doesn't matter what the INEC said. It doesn't matter what the Election Petition Tribunal says. From his own understanding, and from this analysis I'm giving you, if you're open-minded about this, you will know that Peter Obi won majority of the vote cast in this election. In summation, I'm saying Babachir Lawal, former secretary to the federal government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, was right in his analysis in saying that Peter Obi indeed won the 2023 presidential election, despite whatever the INEC and the appeal court had said. He was right on that. He was right. That is it. he won the election based on this analysis I've given you, and I suspect it was the same findings that he had made by the independent verification that he did to conclude that Peter Obi indeed won the election and that Tinubu came a distant third. I totally agree with him. Tinubu came a distant third in the election. If the election was free and fair, that is my own understanding. I have seen people attacking Babachir Lawal. I saw the statement by the APC. One of them, they were just attacking personality instead of addressing the issue the man raised. And then one of them was the most ridiculous, was that Morka, the National Public Secretary, talking about that Babachir Lawal supported Peter Obi and they wanted to use religion to deceive Nigeria, but Nigerians were not deceived by it. For Christ's sake, who used religion more than Tinubu and the APC Muslim ticket? What was that Muslim ticket for, if not for religious purpose? They were the one that used religion. They were the one that exploited religious reason for the election. They exploited religion and ethnicity. It was their agenda. When you hear about a Milokon, you hear about Muslim ticket, it's all about divisiveness. They are the one that did what they were accusing Babachir Lawal and Peter Obi. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.